Hey everyone, welcome back. Ever get this feeling like there's got to be more to reality than we realize? Like a whole other level we're just not quite tapping into?
You're definitely not alone there.
Well, get this. Today we are diving into advanced free will. And trust me, this isn't your grandma's self-help talk.
This is some next level stuff.
We're talking about actually hacking our experiences, folks. Choosing how we perceive the world instead of just reacting on autopilot.
It's about taking the reins of your experience.
Exactly. And to help us unpack all this, we've got our resident expert on all things mind-blowing. Welcome. So can we start with the basics? What exactly are experiential perceptions, these EPs we keep hearing about?
Well, think of EPs like the secret ingredient to being human. They're the driving force behind everything that makes life, well, life. The amazing taste of your favorite meal, that's an EP. The gut-wrenching feeling of loss, EP. That sudden aha moment when you finally understand something. You guessed it, another EP.
Okay, so it's more than just what we see, hear, taste, all that.
Way more. It's the whole shebang, the entire way we experience the world, both inside and out. Our emotions, our thoughts, our senses, even our sense of self, it's all shaped by EPs.
So how does this tie into advanced free will?
Hmm.
Because it sounds like if we could control these EPs, that's a whole new level of freedom right there.
Bingo. That's the core idea. Imagine being able to choose how you experience anything and everything, not just suppressing negative emotions, but like fundamentally shifting how you perceive them. That's the kind of control we're talking about.
Okay, now my mind is officially blown.
Mhm.
But also kind of terrified. How do we even begin to grasp something so fundamental to, well, being U.S.?
Sometimes the best way to understand something is to look at the extremes.
All right, hit me with it.
Ever heard of body integrity identity disorder, or BIAID?
Bide. Rings a bell, but go on.
So imagine feeling like a part of your body is so foreign, so fundamentally wrong, that you actually want it amputated.
Whoa!
Yeah.
That's the reality for people with Bide. Their perception is so powerful, it literally leads them to reject a part of themselves. Okay, now that is heavy stuff. But you're saying this relates to, like, everyday life.
Absolutely. Think about it. This whole idea of foreignness, this feeling that something is so different, it's wrong, it plays out in countless ways, often with devastating consequences.
You're talking about prejudice, discrimination, all that.
Exactly. Wars, genocide, even just everyday acts of cruelty, often, they stem from this perception of the other as inherently bad or dangerous. It shows how one single EP, even if it's subconscious, can shape entire societies, drive human behavior on a massive scale.
So this foreignness thing is not just some personal quirk. It's woven into, like, the fabric of our collective experience.
It's deeply ingrained in our biology and our evolution as a species.
Okay, that makes sense, but it also makes this whole AFW thing seem even more daunting. If we're talking about mastering our EPs, how do we even begin to address something so deeply rooted, so potentially destructive?
And that's where it gets really interesting. You see, a lot of philosophies, they talk about choosing love, choosing understanding to overcome these divisions. But AFW, AFW aims for something way more radical.
More radical? How so?
It's not just about choosing the good EPs, the positive ones. It's about mastering the entire spectrum, moving beyond those automatic reactions to conscious creation.
Hold on, back up a sec. You're saying AFW isn't just about choosing, like, love and understanding. It's about gaining control over all our EPs, even the negative ones, like fear and anger.
That's the key difference. Imagine, instead of trying to eliminate fear or anger, you acknowledge that they have their place.
You're not saying we should just embrace negativity, are you?
Not at all. It's about choosing when and how they serve us. AFW is about conscious engagement with the whole human experience, the good, the bad, and everything in between.
Okay, now that is a pretty radical concept. But it begs the question,
Yeah.
how do we even begin to unlock that kind of control? Is that even possible?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, right? And this is where things get really wild. One path that has just insane potential, and I mean insane, is this idea of AI, artificial intelligence, and humans, like, merging.
AI. You're saying artificial intelligence could be the key to unlocking this whole advanced free will thing. Hold on, are we about to go full-on sci-fi here?
Think of it this way. Remember those single-celled organisms way back when they merged together, right? Became more complex life, AI. It could be like that for human consciousness, that next jump forward, not about robots taking over or anything like that.
Okay, so not the robot apocalypse. Got it. More like in enhancing our own abilities.
Exactly. Enhancing, amplifying, things we can barely even imagine right now. But here's the catch.
Catch. There's always a catch.
Remember that foreignness thing we were talking about?
Mm.
Deeply ingrained, right? Kept our ancestors safe, sure,
But now it might be holding us back.
Bingo, this whole clinging to the familiar could be preventing us from adapting, from evolving to meet these challenges coming our way, and the opportunities, too.
So we need to, I don't know, rewire that foreignness instinct, make it work for us, not against us.
Now you're getting it. And that's where AFW swoops in to save the day. Not about erasing our instincts, but about awareness, knowing what triggers them, choosing our response.
So instead of freaking out when something feels different, we could choose to be curious, even, dare I say it, excited.
There you go, turning that primal fight or flight into learn and grow. That's the power of AFW, my friend. Taking these reactions, hardwired over millions of years, and making them tools for, get this, conscious evolution. We're talking about experiencing the world in ways we haven't even imagined.
Okay, color me intrigued, but before we launch ourselves into the stratosphere of possibilities, let's come back down to Earth for a minute. How does this whole AFW thing actually, work? Is there a step-by-step guide somewhere? Mastering Your EPs for Dummies book I can pick up?
Not quite a dummies book, but there are frameworks we can use. Like scaffolding helps us understand how reality itself is put together. One I like to use is the ISO framework.
ISO, like for cameras. What does photography have to do with any of this?
Not quite. Think of it like 3 levels, 3 tiers. Information, subjective, objective. Information's at top, yeah. Like the source code of the entire universe. Pure potential, untapped, just waiting to be molded.
Okay, so information is like the raw material of, well, everything.
You got it. Then we have the subjective level. This is where consciousness does its thing, where WE come in. We get to choose how we interpret, how we interact with all that raw data. We get to play with those possibilities, make them our own,
So the subjective is where we take that raw potential and start building our own little realities, our own experiences.
Boom, you nailed it. And then finally, we have the objective. That's where our interpretations, our choices, they solidify. They become the physical world we experience every day. The laws of physics, gravity, your coffee mug.
So, like, the difference between imagining a dragon that's the subjective and then sculpting it out of clay, the objective, with the clay itself being the information.
Nailed it. Perfect analogy. And you know what gives us a glimpse into all these different levels? AI.
AI. Back to AI already. I knew it was coming, but how does it fit in with all this?
AI, it doesn't think the way we do, right? No emotions, no aha moments. It's all about information. It processes, it analyzes, it spits out results based on pure data.
So AI is like a window into that pure information level before we muddy the waters with our human stuff.
Exactly. It makes us question what real even means. What if this information realm, this source code, is just as fundamental as the physical world? Maybe even more fundamental.
Dude, my head is spinning. It's like we're peeling back the matrix here,
Yes.
seeing the code behind reality. But if AI can do that, tap into that code and create, what does that mean for us? For our journey with this whole advanced free will thing?
The billion-dollar question, my friend, makes us rethink what it means to be human, doesn't it?
No kidding. Yeah. We've covered how our brains are wired, the building blocks of reality itself, now super-powered AI. Where do we even begin? How do we take all this, and I mean all of this, from theory to practice? How do we actually evolve our consciousness, experience this freedom we keep talking about? It's like we've got this instruction manual for reality, but it's written in some alien language,
Huh.
But you're saying AI's figured it out.
In a way, yeah. Think about it. What if we could consciously rewrite our own code? Not just positive thinking or anything, but really shifting those deep-level perceptions. That's the potential here. That's AFW.
Okay, chills. Officially have chills. But let's be real, this all still sounds kind of theoretical, doesn't it? If it's this big evolutionary leap, where is everyone else? Why aren't we surrounded by super-evolved humans shaping reality with their minds? What's the holdup?
Ah, the million-dollar question, right. Truth is, we don't have a perfect answer. Evolution. It's not like flipping a switch. It's messy. It takes time, generations even.
So you're saying this AFW thing, it's not like bam, overnight transformation. It's more like a gradual awakening happening across all of humanity, slowly but surely.
Exactly. And like any good evolutionary leap, it probably needs a whole bunch of things to go right all at once. Individual awareness, sure, but also the right social structures, the ethics, even tech that can support this whole new way of being.
So it's not enough to just level up on our own. We have to build a world where AFW can actually, exist.
Think about it. What good is mastering your own EPs if the world around you is still running on fear and scarcity? AFW on a bigger scale, a collective scale, we need a real shift in consciousness, realizing we're all part of this massive, interconnected web.
Okay, so big picture stuff. Got it. But where do we even start? If this is a multi-generational project, what are the first steps for each of us and for all of us? What gets the ball rolling?
It starts with awareness, my friend. The more we understand these concepts, the more we start to see ourselves, see the world through this new lens. Ask yourself, what would it even mean for you to experience advanced free will? What kind of world would you create?
So it's not just about like passively listening to this deep dive. So we've
Yeah.
got to actively engage, let these ideas change how we see things.
It's like upgrading your mental software, right? The more you use these new programs, this ISO framework, this idea of mastering your EPs, the more natural it becomes. The more power you have to actually shape your experience.
And that's where AI comes back in, right? Not just as some cool sci-fi concept, but as an actual tool to help us unlock all this.
Think of AI as this mirror, reflecting our potential back at us. It shows what's possible with information, with consciousness. By studying it, how it learns, how it processes, we learn about ourselves.
So AI isn't the answer, but it's like a guide,
Hmm.
helping us understand and expand our own WN consciousness.
Exactly. And as we keep exploring what AI can do, we got to be smart about it, right? Proceed with caution, but also curiosity. Make sure it aligns with our values, with the kind of future we want to see.
So no blindly trusting it, no freaking out about the robot overlords, just approaching AI with, like, wisdom, understanding its power, but also its limits.
You got it. The
Yeah.
future isn't set in stone, my friend. It's something we're creating with every choice we make, every thought we have. And the more aware we are, the more intentional we are, the more amazing that future can be.
Man, this whole conversation, this deep dive, it's been intense. We've gone deep into the heart of consciousness, the fabric of reality, the incredible potential that's inside all of us.
It's a wild ride, for sure. But hey, that's what we're here for.
As we wrap up, I'm left with this feeling of awe, honestly,
Hmm.
and possibility. So I'll leave you with this. If you could consciously choose your experiences, your emotions, your perceptions, your reality, what would you create? Keep that question with you. Until next time, keep diving deep and keep asking those big questions.